This is Smarter San Diego TV.
Millennials and baby boomers alike, they want to be in urban environments right now.
Thank God for the Electoral College vote.
In a 4-hour breakfast, we raised $9,000. So that's something that we take pretty seriously.
And you can't diet your way into being lean and fit. They go together.
In New York City, deciding what's best for the rest of the freaking country.
This is not a market built on a stack of cards. It's a solid foundation.
0%. That is a thumbs up.
Everyone has a life worth telling a story about. And the more adversity that you faced, the deeper your story.
Well, am I going to be okay in it? Like, am I going to be able to walk?
There's just so much creativity in this town that it's hard to hide it.
Well, you have these beliefs, well, what do you do with it?
We're about to learn more on a moving company that helps transitioning veterans. Please welcome the founder of Motivated Military Movers, Terry Wagner.
There he is. Terry, what's up, my friend?
Derek, great to see you.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the set of Smarter San Diego TV. Great to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
Motivated Military Movers is your company.
Yes.
A lot of reasons why we're having you on today. First of all, a lot of people need a good moving company.
That's right.
That's number one. Number two, you served the country.
I did.
In the Navy. Thank you for your service, by the way. A lot of other people here in San Diego served the country as well, and that's something that you're really helping with. Tell us about your company.
Yeah, well, Motivated Military Movers, or MMM, is a moving company that I started in 2008. And getting out of the military is really hard to transition. So I started this company to help other veterans transition out of the military. And
to give them a place to land? In
exactly.
other words, like, okay, I'm out, what's next? This is the place they can go.
Yes, we give them immediate employment to, get some work going while they're trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
And then we also teach them the moving trade. Moving is definitely a trade, just like carpentry or plumbing or whatever. And then they also get to practice those military skills they've learned in the civilian world and get them ready for whatever they're going to do next, whether it's staying with us or whatever they're going to do next.
So you have them do like push-ups if they scratch anything, or how's it? Tell me how it's for the people out there who are in the military or just getting out of the military or about to get out of the military and don't quite have a place to land yet. Let's say on the employment side, because I know you guys are always hiring or looking for good people.
Yes.
Is it the boot camp atmosphere, or how is it good and fit for someone who's coming out of the military?
Well, I try not to go drill instructor on my movers. The military thing is there, but really these guys are great. They're disciplined, they're professional, and that's the thing that makes us a really good moving company is what we learned in the military. So the guys are good with that. I really don't have to get on them too much and yell at them and make them do push-ups. Yeah.
Not too much.
No, not too much.
Now, I will say, full disclosure, we have used Motivated Military Movers. In fact, they moved some stuff out of this set and into my home, and then some stuff around here, and then even took some stuff and hauled away some stuff. So you guys did a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
It was a holiday when you came.
Yes.
Which was super helpful for me because that was the day that I was available to do it. So I can tell you firsthand that they do a great job, and very fairly priced as well. Yes. I will say, because there are a lot of what seems to be the new thing in your space is this almost like a luxury movement, which I know that's aimed at a certain type of clientele. Yeah. Like, hey, pay us an exorbitant amount of money and we'll handle every last detail for you. But that's not your world. What you're really doing is you're doing very competitively priced moves with very motivated individuals who understand how to take direction and who can effectively do things quickly. Is that kind of what the MO is?
That's exactly what we do. We're very competitive when it comes to our pricing, but there's just a lot of value in our service because you got guys that were in the military, they're disciplined, like you said, they know what to do, and it just works out really well. Now,
for people who let's go to that other side of it, because first of all, if you hire Motivated Military Movers, you're helping a veteran-owned organization that employs veterans.
Correct.
And do you only employ veterans?
Our goal is to hire 100% military and veterans.
Gotcha.
Yes. That is our goal, and right now we are currently hiring 100% military and veterans.
Okay, cool. So for people out there who, if you know someone who's coming off active duty, doesn't have a plan yet, needs some work, or wants to just line something up, until you can figure out what's next, right? Because it's a big thing. Let's talk about that. I mean, when you transitioned out, I mean, did you immediately start this business? Did you have this idea before you got out, or did you go somewhere else first?
No, actually, well, in the military, I was a Navy corpsman, so I had medical training, and I was going to do that. But that took a little while to get going, and that's one of the big problems of when you're getting out of the military. It takes a while to, get on your feet and also kind of find out what you're going to do, and some of those things might take a while. Again, for my case, I wanted to work in the government, with the government, in a government job. So it took me a while to, go through the whole process, and I needed money right away. So that's when I started the company, and that's what makes it really good for guys getting out. Is sometimes like Marines, for example, they'll want to be a cop sometimes. Go figure. They're used to shooting guns and doing that whole thing, so they want to be a cop, and that's great. But it can take up to 2 years to do that. So in the meantime, what are you doing? So they get to work with our company and be around other veterans, and I think that's the biggest thing is the camaraderie. One thing you learn in the military is the camaraderie, and you get that when you come work at Motivated Military Movers.
You're being a part of a team.
Being part of a team.
Right, and having a job and knowing what you need to do, and there's a sense of accomplishment in moving too. As much as it sucks, anyone who's ever moved something on your own, it's not fun. But that's why you hire a company to do it for you. I tell you, I've moved my last item. I'm done. I have a bad back, and it's just not worth it. I mean, anything, it's just not worth it. So, and I think that happens, a lot of people kind of get to a point, when you're in college, you move yourself, right? But at a certain point, you go, all right, I'm too old for this. Let the young guys handle it, And that's when you look to hire a company to do it for you, which makes sense. Now, in your case, there's a lot of real big positives here, and I just want to kind of recap what those are. Number one, very competitively priced. In fact, I was pretty surprised by how inexpensive it was for the stuff that you guys did for us. Number two, you're supporting a veteran-owned organization. Number three, you're hiring veterans. So if it's the case that it's not just veteran-owned, but veteran-operated.
Yes.
And so if you want to, get a move done well and support the veterans, this is a really good way to do that. Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody. It really is. I can't tell you how many times the customers are just blown away by our service. Again, those traits you learn in the military, those soft skills, intangibles, they play so well in moving, and the customer just love us. And they get to interact with the military, which is great too. A lot of people in San Diego, they know about the military, it's a military town, but when you're up close and personal and you're in people's homes, it really creates like a bond, and it's really cool. They ask us about our service, and it's just a win-win for everybody. And then the military, us, we're feeling great too, because they're thanking us for our service, and feeling good about accomplishing moving people's stuff safe and efficient. Yeah, it's true. There is an accomplishment feeling in getting a move done, which I think is good for transitioning military members, because they're so used to like getting a mission and then you accomplish it and you're like, yes, okay, I did my job. Like that's a good feeling. Yes. And you don't get that with a lot of the stuff out in the civilian world, but moving you definitely do. There's a huge sense of accomplishment. I got to ask you while we have you here, Terry, moving tip? Is there any tips? I'm sure you figured out there are common things people do wrong or don't do. Give us a tip. Yes, definitely. Thanks for asking about that. Our MMM moving tip of the day is, I'm just kidding, but seriously, we have a lot of different tips for customers, but one of the ones that I thought of that's a really good one to save some extra money, because San Diego is an expensive place to live, so use your luggage. If you can use your luggage and save on a box, there you go. And it's easier to spot the luggage amongst all the boxes as well. So if you put like your clothes in your luggage, which makes sense, when you get your boxes and everything unloaded, there you go. You can spot that suitcase or what have you, and it's easy to find. Use your luggage. Yeah. And we do recommend boxes, of course, because they're easier to transport on the dollies and stuff like that, but we want customers to save some money, so yeah, you use your luggage if you can. Yeah, and one thing that I like about you guys, I will say this from personal experience, is you've moved some stuff in here and into my home. There was a very difficult situation with the space. Yes. I have kind of a weird stair situation in my apartment, which is on the second floor. and the couches were big, and it was complicated, but you guys immediately went to problem-solving mode, unscrewed the legs, figured out how to get it in, and you're in and out of there in no time. It's impressive.
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, moving has lots of challenges, but I think again, you know, that's what we learned in the military. We have hard situations we go through, and it's like, hey, let's get together, let's be a team, and let's figure out what we need to do, and let's get it done, and that's it.
All right, great stuff. Terry, appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, Derek.
Motivated Military Movers. If you or anyone you know is moving soon, great prices, support the veterans here in San Diego. And of course, stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.